So this, of course, my friends, is the 2024 GM Sierra Denali Ultimate, shown here in this beautiful downpour metallic blue. Prices tested just north of $87,000, which does make this one of the most expensive half tons available on the market today. Here we go, ready? Now, starting up front, we have, in my humble opinion, maybe one of the best looking front ends for the 2024 half-ton lineup. I'm a big Ford guy. I honestly think Ford took a step back with their front end design in 2024, and I just really dig this grille and front end. Not too big, Tundra, not too small. I think it's just right. And of course, you're getting all the LED lighting here, the dual LED projectors up front, fancy C-shaped running lights with switchback technology, LED fog lights down below. But maybe one of my favorite parts here about this front end is this Vader chrome. Obviously a very unique finish for the grille and badging, and it is unique here to the Ultimate. Now, speaking of badging, of course, you will find the Ultimate badging here on the side of the truck, along with what engine is in this bad boy. We'll talk more on that later. You'll see the 22-inch Ultimate specific wheels, which I shined up right before this video. And let me tell you, it was not very fun. As you might imagine, they're very busy. They look awesome. They are not awesome to clean. Now, those 22-inch wheels are wrapped in a 33-inch tall Bridgestone tire here. More of a road-going tire, very quiet, rides very well. Now, my one complaint down here is that I would have liked to see more of that Vader chrome implemented in one of these many spots down the side of the truck, whether it be the mirror caps, the door handles, the power steps. It is unique to the Denali Ultimate, and I would have liked to see more of it. Power steps here, as you might imagine, on the Ultimate, done very well. They're very sturdy, no complaints there. But let's head on to the back of the truck here, as there is a lot to talk about. Now, of course, the rear of the truck bristling with the latest tailgate tech. But before we get to that, you'll of course see old favorites like the bumper step, in addition to the dual exhaust here, which GMC and GM have implemented very well on their trucks in the last few years. But of course, the highlight for me back here is no doubt the Multi-Pro tailgate. I think it's one of the ones that really kick-started the modern tailgate wars, to see which manufacturer can make the simplest design the most complicated. But in all seriousness, the Multi-Pro does have its uses, including but not limited to cargo stops, work surfaces, steps. But my favorite is no doubt the hidden Multi-Pro audio system provided by Kicker that can bring to life your campsite or tailgate thanks to the 100-watt system. Another highlight in the back for me, standard spray-in bed liner. Yes, this is how it should be. Ford, take notes. The fact that you guys are still skimping on a bed liner option on a $70,000 to $80,000 truck is borderline criminal. But getting back to the Ultimate here, again, standard spray-in bed liner, bed step. They do have outlets back here in addition to a ton of tie-down options. And you can also grab the Ultimate with their carbon composite bed. It's going to increase your towing capabilities and damn near make for a bulletproof bed option for all of you workers out there. Now, the one little nitpick I have back here is the fact that you're dropping $87K on a truck and you're still getting halogen license plate bulbs. Not the end of the world, but my one little gripe. All right, so there's no denying the exterior of the Ultimate is certainly very nice and very impressive, but once you step inside this thing for the very first time, you really start to get a better sense of where some of that $80,000+ is going. Immediately opening the door for the first time, you get greeted by a wonderful smell of the full grain Alpine Umber leather massaging seats. No fake or synthetic materials here, guys. This is the real deal. Also not fake, the open pore Powdow wood that graces part of the dashboard and also your door card here certainly lends itself to a higher quality feel. Also helping with that is the micro suede headliner in addition to your pillars here. But I also like how they did things like the contrasting cross stitch on the seats here. You see they went with a darker cross stitch, which I like, but if we shift our focus back to the door card, they'll see they use kind of a lighter cross stitch. And I really like that. The difference in materials, again, really lends itself to a very high quality product. And it is found on the steering wheel as well. Lastly, you'll notice the little logos, of course, in the seats here, the door sills. But if you look closer, you'll notice some of the embossment in this Powdow wood, in addition to the seats themselves. It's pretty hard to capture with this lighting. That is a topographical map of the Mount Denali. They also give you the coordinates as well, which is a subtle nod to the namesake of the truck. Tech is everything you'd want out of a modern truck, including the 12.3-inch cluster display, all digital. You actually have a 15-inch heads-up display in color. Kind of difficult to see, but it is up there, and you can customize it to read a ton of different data. And then finally, you have a 13.4-inch center console touchscreen. Nicely sized, maybe could be a bit bigger depending on your preference and based on the competition, but certainly feels pretty adequate. Now, one of my favorite things, as was the case in the Colorado review I did recently, this cluster is customizable and configurable in a number of different ways. I really like that. I like to play with some of the features, have some different looks, and it is very easy to use. Now, sound is provided by the Bose system here. There is a 12-speaker system, pretty MIDI, could definitely benefit from a sub, but all in all, not a bad sounding system. But enough about that. Let's go for a drive. All right, here we go. Ready? Yeah, power comes in from the almighty 6.2 liter V8 here, making 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. One of two engines available for the Ultimate. The other is a 3-liter, 6-cylinder Duramax, which does make a bit more torque than this. Economy numbers for the 6.2, 15 city, 19 highway. The turbo diesel almost doubles those numbers, so definitely the way more efficient of the two, but that's just diesels in a nutshell. Both engines can tow north of 13,000 pounds when properly equipped. The diesel a hair more, but again, both north of 13,000 altogether. Now, the truck rides great, as you would imagine. It does have GMC's active ride control here at play. Now, I will say the 22-inch wheels with a little less sidewall does make some potholes and bumps a little bit more jarring than if you had a bit more sidewall, but that's a minor complaint. Now, the one biggie here with the Ultimate is no doubt the Super Cruise technology. We'll go ahead and set our mile per hour. We'll set our adaptive cruise control, and we'll go ahead and hit a few buttons, and there we go. We got a nice little green light on our steering, which indicates Super Cruise is active. So here you go, guys. This tech is, you know, unlike Ford's Blue Cruise, which can be a bit spotty, the Super Cruise really is hands-free in every sense of the word. You know, you put your trust into it, right? Now, obviously you want to be on the ready, and no matter what situation, you don't want to go in the back seat or do anything dumb. But when I say hands-free, as you guys can see, it is really hands-free navigating the traffic here on 476 or 202 in the Northeast. So when we get down to the Super Cruise and the availability, not only is it just more available compared to Ford's Blue Cruise, it's also a lot more affordable. This is $25 a month with your subscription. Ford's is $75 a month with the subscription. So not only is it more affordable, it's more available, and I think it's just better and just all around a better system for now. I mean, Ford's obviously updating their stuff. I love Ford, don't get me wrong. I drive an F-150 for crying out loud, but credit where credit's due, and the Super Cruise is certainly, I feel, the better of the two technologies. So with all that being said, is the 2024 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate the ultimate half-ton pickup truck? Well, here's what I'll say about that. 2024 truck prices, you see some of them, you kind of scratch your head as to how they got to that final number. That is not the case here with the Ultimate. You see the opulence, you see the finishes, you see the unique and authentic materials, the tech, and everything that goes into this truck, and it starts to make a lot more sense. Now, does it make $87,000+ sense? Well, that's a discussion for another video, but what I will say is the Ultimate certainly does live up to its name. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you dig our content, like, comment, subscribe. We certainly appreciate it. And in the meantime, I'm Justin. Thanks for watching, and for all things GMC, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.